It's going. All right, Instagram. Not gonna not gonna mess with me. I thought I had this like pegged. I practiced it earlier.
This is a new format, or have you always been using this?
No, this is brand new.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. So, hey everybody who is catching this, welcome. Appreciate y'all joining in. We got YouTube, Facebook, I think, um, and X, and all types of other stuff going on. So, really appreciate everybody hopping on. We have Lewis Mills joining us today, Bourbon Stills Mills on all social media platforms. We enjoy Lewis's content. We have been kind of chatting back and forth a little bit via DM, and that's a lot of how the community has grown. Right? Is you like somebody's content, you shoot them a note, and you say, "Hey, like let's have a conversation." And so this is how this conversation started. Lewis is a guy that's full of thoughts, like no joke. And so what a perfect platform to have Lewis, join us uh, tonight. So Lewis, just real quick,
Hmm.
tell the people just a little bit about yourself if they don't know you from your platform. Want to make sure people get an opportunity to hear a little bit about you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. And it's actually funny because this is the first time Jake and I have ever had a conversation face to face virtually, so to speak.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm Lewis Mills, Bourbon Stills Mills on Instagram. I've been drinking whiskey and spirits since 2018. I like to think that I'm still fairly new still. I wouldn't say I'm an expert by any means to whiskey or bourbon or any of the spirits. I just love having a good time. I love drinking good whiskey. I love having great conversations. Uh, Cigars, love smoking cigars and whiskey at the same time. Yeah, I'm a guy that just will speak his mind, not try to offend anybody, but I have an opinion and I'm not afraid to voice it. And the way I'm the type of guy is like, you can like my content, fine. If you don't like it, that's okay too. I'm not. I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea. So I just want to enjoy whiskey and enjoy the community and have a good time with it, basically.
Yeah, and I know you and Mikey from Bourbon Rye Club have had some really good, interesting conversations over the
Yeah.
last couple weeks on Sundays. Can you tell us a little bit about, what you all have done there and what's the point of those conversations?
I mean, basically, like so when I originally started coming onto the scene in Instagram, it was early of 2018, and obviously during the times like engagement has changed, the platform has changed, endorsements, contracts, sponsorships, everything has changed the game. And it's like now it's from when I originally started, Mikey, the Bourbon and Rye Cub, he was basically a teacher to me. And I always gravitated towards his account because everything that he would talk about is real. And he's kind of the one that will speak his mind. He will if he's a fan of it, he's a fan. If he's not, he'll tell you. And I feel like the whiskey community is not really about that anymore. It's like everyone now is, either worried about making somebody mad for their PR or their marketing agency, and they feel like they're going to lose either the dollar or whatever bottle that they may get from it. And I know I go to Mikey and I said, I'm like, dude, remember the days of when like you and Chris Urban Bourbonist would do like Sunday night fights and you guys would just have talks and all that. And I told them that I really miss those days because I really enjoyed those conversations. I learned a lot from watching those two, and I told Mikey, I was like, man, do you ever feel like now it's like people really don't voice their opinions as much as what they used to way back when? And I was like, what if we just did a show that we can just say, just talk about the old days and just bring that back, say things that people do not want to say. And Mikey was like, I dig it, let's do it. So we did, our first couple episodes. It's always hard because I've got my kids and, he's always busy with work. So we always try to find the time to, to air and have those conversations. But I don't, it's just, it feels great to have like those conversations and have opinions and everyone say like, well, I don't like this or I'm a fan of this, and it's just I enjoy that, and not everyone does that anymore. Like, and so we want to kind of try to bring that back. If that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. No, I think it's great. And like Scott and I are not shy from our opinions.
Oh
We just dropped a podcast a couple weeks ago, and I've caught a bunch of heat for it, saying, like, hey, Blanton's or not Blanton's, Basil Hayden, 10 year could fit in a blind and beat some of your higher proof whiskeys that you come to love, and
yeah.
people are like, no way, Blanton or well, they say Blanton
Basically,
sucks too.
yeah.
Basil Hayden sucks. Um, that's another conversation for another time about Blanton's. I don't really have strong opinions on Blanton's because it's a single barrel every time. I've had great ones, I've had bad ones. That's what a single barrel is, right?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And it's 93 proof. Like, are you enjoying it? So on and so forth. But anywho, like, I'm not going to shy away from an opinion. Now, I will say, having a brand and a podcast like we do,
Yeah.
um, a lot of people are like, hey, you don't post bad stuff or you don't share bad stuff. People don't understand the conversations we have behind the scenes with these brands.
Mhm.
Because at the end, sneak in Blanton's in there uh, for engagement. That's right, John. I think it's the way you approach it, right?
Yeah.
Um, is there my one of my favorite Insta account is no bad whiskey. There's
Okay.
bad whiskey, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's just how you approach that whiskey, and
Hmm.
how you approach that conversation. Because, for instance, there's a brand out on the West Coast. They have young stuff. I really like their single malt at that younger age. I don't really care for their bourbon at that older age, and I've told them that, like, privately.
Yeah.
But I'll pump the one I like, and I'm not going to pump the one I don't like. So if you have a wide offering, great. Like, let me
Yeah.
see if I can find something that I do enjoy.
Yeah.
But not everything is everyone's cup of tea. Do you like pot still? Do you like column still? Do you like blended? Um, do you like finished product? Do you not like? Is there a certain type of style that you like? Right, those things I think are really important. You got to figure out what you like, and you gravitate towards what you like. And if you're willing to try other things, great. If not, stay in your lane.
Yeah. I agree because I mean the one thing that it was funny like when I was starting up is Jaron, right, Bourbon,
Mm-hmm.
Indiana. So like when I had started, because the first company that were ever to give me my chance to do a review was Milam Green, and
Mm.
so I did my review, and I did my review, and it was their small batch, and I loved it. I really loved it. And once I started getting more opportunities, I started trying new things, and my palate was just it wasn't where it's at right now. So everything that I had tried, I always thought it was great. And I remember Jaron had pulled me aside one time. He's like, "Look, dude, you can't like everything. Like, there's got to be something that you don't like." And because I mean, he wasn't like calling me out, but he was like, "All right, dude. Like every review that I did was like, you think this is amazing." And I tried telling him like, "Well, look, bro. I'm like, I do think it's really good because I haven't been drinking whiskey as long as you have. So it's like
Mm.
everything that I've been trying, I loved it. And the one thing, see, and this is where like Mikey and I differ, and you are kind of the same way. Is like if you don't like it, you won't talk about it, and
Mm.
and that's fine. My whole thing on that is like, and I've tried some just not really good whiskeys. I'm not an earthy and young and that leathery. I can't do that. I can't. Now, the one thing that I always tell like a distillery or a marketing agency, like, look, if you're going to give me this, I'm just going to be real. Like, if I don't like it, I'm not gonna shit on it, but I'm not gonna make it sound like it's the most extravagant thing. Because the way that I see it is like, and especially for younger craft distilleries that are trying to compete with the majors, it's like I don't want to shit on their name. They're trying, so it's like I feel bad if I'm like, oh, this is dog water, or fucking take the bottle and dump it down. Like I can't do that. So I think when I try to cater my reviews to where it's like, I'm a believer that everyone's palate is different, and there are people who love that earthy, leathery shit, and unfortunately, I'm just not one of them. And so I try to cater a review if it's not a whiskey that I really enjoy. I'm like, hey, all you leather fans or all you earthy dirt drinking fans, here you go. But it was funny because I'm now starting to, like, I would say the beginning of this year, I have started, and it was funny, Mike, you said, "Oh, you're growing a pair finally," and I've kind of started to like make it known and say like, these bottles are not for me, and I've listed a couple, and it was funny. I would get feedback, and they're like, "Well, no, we thought you would like it," and it's just like, look, man, like no, I just there was nothing about it that was appealing, and I don't know. I feel like now, as you're a whiskey enthusiast, and if you're going to be in this, in this game type, so to speak, you got to be able to say like, look, it's not for me, and you got to be able to say like, look, there's no guarantee that I'm going to like it. And so either distilleries or marketing agencies, they're going to have to accept that, and that's how I truly feel about it.
Well, I mean, I think we got John in the chat, the Bourbon Finder. I mean, I think he makes a really good point. Like a negative review, it's not really negative. It's just telling you what you don't like, right? Like again, everyone's
Yeah.
palate's a little bit different, and that's why I've been so interested on like a community scoring guide, creating a standard deviation, get into the analytics of it all, because our
Yeah.
palates are different. But if we are all rating at the same, kind of mindset with a nose, palate, finish. What do those mean? Are they weighted the same way?
Mhm.
And um, you know, what's the value? Can you find it? Right? We were talking about this
Yeah.
because we're talking about a bottle, behind the scenes, which was the Penelope Estate 10-year private select, and at retail at 89.99, like it's got great value.
Yeah.
It's widely available, so that scores well. But if you're pumping the price to 110, 115, is it the same value, right? I think that's where we as a collective whole have to do a better job of keeping stores accountable to what the SRP is.
Yeah. Agreed.
Um, and you know, we're in a really uh, interesting phase, right? We're entering the golden age of the consumer, right? Where the consumer is going to have more bottles of whiskey at their fingertips than ever before. However, the flip side is the secondary market and the other things have driven up cost exponentially. So, they can feel like they can go and take, that lion's share of that dollar versus it
Yeah.
being, on secondary. So I think it's really important to kind of understand that balance. And it's on us, the consumer, to help them understand like, hey, we value this at $90. We don't value it at 115, 120. It's not that
Mhm.
it's bad liquid, but where's the value in what we're actually paying for? Because ultimately, consumer dollars being stretched so thin all over the place.
Yeah. Because one thing I've always said is that when it comes to a bottle, anything that's triple digit, I have a hard time spending $100 over a bottle. I mean, I have to really, 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 truly enjoy that bottle for me to do it. Now, there has been some chances where I've taken risks and I've been burned, and some I've enjoyed, but some mostly I've been burned. And the thing is that I feel like when we were talking about the value, like I feel like when you, and again, I'm going to say for my own opinion, I feel when you say that the juice doesn't justify the price, I feel like with some brands, like that is just like a knife in the heart to them because it's like, we've been putting out X amount of expressions, everyone's wanting it, and it's like I was like, I don't know, I don't feel the value in it. Would I feel the value if it was $50 or $60? Yes, but not 120. And I just feel like when you, especially now, when you voice, especially that part of it, you are just shunned. You are just like, no, that's it. You're done. You're off the list. And it's like, you know, how, you know, how do you expect to learn and grow if you don't take criticism from the consumer? Like, we're not saying it's a bad product. We're just saying the juice is not what's justifying the price. So it's like, you know, and for example, is when I bought I would say this is probably one of the most controversial reviews that I did was with the Penelope cigar blend. I I'm sorry, I was not a fan of it, and I spent like $120 on that. And yeah, and I've been told that I overpaid, but it was just when I had tried it, I just like no way. Like I can't. There's nothing about it that I like. There's nothing about it that says it's a cigar blend. So when I left that review, I was extremely proud of myself because number one, I thought it was a really great review. Number two, I didn't shit on it. I just said, look, I respect it, but it's not for me. And I think I liked it more because I got so many different comments from like even distilleries like Dugan from Short Barrel commented like, he's like, we respect that. Like I want reviews like this. Like I don't want to create something if no one's gonna like. So
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, and I didn't get any backlash at all for anyone from Penelope, but I feel like now as we're in this era, like you mentioned, I don't know, I feel like words can either, and again, if you're the influencer, words can either kill you, or it's like they have a threatening, demanding impact against you as the influencer, and it's just like, look, man, and I think that's why with Mikey and I, that's why we do our podcast that way. It's like, look, we should be able to say whatever the hell we want. Like, just because I don't like it doesn't mean that somebody else will. So yeah, but when
Yeah.
it comes to the value of the juice, I feel like that line is it's always like you feel like you're crossing a line.
Yeah, and I love the fact that like Scott, my podcast host is in the chat and he's they're like engaging with us here, and
Yeah.
John as well. You know, a lot of it is subjective. My buying habits may be different than yours. No, we're not coming on here saying like, hey, I make X amount of money. This is the lifestyle I live.
Yeah. Right.
Um, and a lot of times, in all honesty, at this point. Um, I may be I'm a little more subjective on the things that I have purchased. For the
Hmm.
things that I have received, I'm a little less subjective on that, right? Or
Yeah.
I'm probably more I'm more subjective because like I've been given a high dollar bottle, right?
Yeah.
Like, and so it's a weird dichotomy, and I just love using that word.
Hmm.
Um, I just think that you're going to see a lot of opportunity to be real. I think what the world is wanting is authenticity, just in
Yeah.
general,
Hmm.
and not fake authenticity. I think people want to know the real Lewis, the real Jake, the real whatever. And so I think there's a good opportunity in this sphere of influence to try and engage in a more emphatic way and an authentic way that people can appreciate, because AI and all the other stuff, you don't really know what's right and true. Like I feel like
Yeah.
people can see this conversation as right and true
Hmm.
and engaging.
Yeah. No, I agree, and you know, I mean, it's what you say is right and true, and I like that line because I think authenticity. I mean, like I do agree that I feel that it is coming back, but I would say for a while now, especially in the last maybe 2 3 years, like authenticity was gone, and I feel like once the sponsors hit and once the money was flowing and once you can figure out how much you can make off of distilleries and all that other stuff, I felt authenticity went out the damn window. And that's just my opinion. And the one thing that I've always said, and I've said it on Mikey's show, I've said it on lives before, I don't get paid for my reviews. I don't. I feel like the bottle to me is always the value. So if you're going to send me a bottle, that's it. I don't request the money because I feel once money's involved, the authenticity is gone because I feel like you're forced to have to say something positive. And however you set up your negotiation with whoever it is that you're doing that with distillery or the marketing agency, it's like I don't know. I just feel like if I get the bottle or if I get the cigar and if I don't like it, I'm able to say that. And the only thing that they lost out is of a doubt. They lost the bottle, which doesn't really cost them that much anyway, as opposed to losing like $500 or $1,000. And I've heard crazy amounts of people getting how much money to do a review. And again, if at the end of the day, if that's you, I'm not telling you not to take money. If that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do. I just feel like when you take that money and people know about that, is it really where is it are your words really genuine? Are they really coming from the heart, or are you saying that because you got paid? You know what I'm saying? So I feel
Mm.
like the authentic style of it, I feel like, in my opinion, just gets taken away.
Yeah, and so let's be transparent about that. Have Scott and I been paid to talk about brands? Yeah, of course we have.
Hmm.
Now, what I will tell you is, as we kind of use like we use this at my church a little bit, but like what that money does, it provides you access. It does not provide you authority in what we're going to say.
Yeah.
So you have access to our platform, to our community, to my time, my production, Scott's production, right? That's what you have access to. You do
Hmm.
not have the right to censor our conversations. And that's what we write. We're going to promote those, and we're going to find a common ground with most distilleries. One, because we love distillation. And
Yeah.
so we can nerd about that. We love the fact, like, hey, you're doing some interesting barrel formats. Okay, let's talk about that. It doesn't always have to be the liquid. However, a lot of times, I would say 95% of 90% of the time when that liquid comes and sits at our house, and we talk about it, we genuinely do like it.
Hmm.
10% of the stuff, I mean, it's just gotten so good. We are so science driven. But that's what I would say is, like, if you are a brand paying to work with us, we look at that as access and production,
Yep.
right? We want to provide you access to our audience, and thank you to our audience.
Thank you.
If you're not part of the audience, like, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. I would
Yep.
love to have you be a part of that. But in general, like, that's what we want. We want people to have those conversations, and to be approachable to that. And I think not every conversation has to be paid for, right? So,
No.
like, there's certain types and certain times and certain opportunities that pop up, and I get it. Like, there's some people that are like, oh, you should always be paid to be doing your work. Bourbon podcasting is not ever going to take over my day job.
Yeah.
Just not.
Same here. Like same here.
But you know what it can do? It can afford me some cool opportunities. Like, our wives getting to see Dirk Bentley a couple weeks ago. Like, that's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
that's what that can afford. It can afford, the ability to have a streaming platform to stream, and to, have fans and a Patreon and all that stuff. That it can afford that.
Hmm.
That's all I want. I don't need to be making hundreds of thousands of dollars off that. And, like, that's not a shot at like Kenny and Ryan. Like, go on with your bad selves. Like, y'all have made it.
Yeah.
Like,
Um. No, you're right. And see, like with especially for you, and then others, I would say Sarah Whiskey Nomad. I mean, you guys put a lot of content into your posts, and obviously you have the equipment. I mean, dude, I just use my fucking phone. Like, it just takes me 10 minutes to shoot a picture, write up a news review about it, and that's it. And I feel like, do I need $100 for it? No. Like, dude, the bottle is good enough. And some of these bottles, and the way that I see it is like my collection. I know you can't see it, but like my collection, I would never have access to any of these. One, because I can't afford them, and two, there's nowhere to be found. And so it's like, I don't know. For me, like to get a bottle to something that I don't have access to, and some of these are expensive, and it's like, you know what? To me, that's fine. But I say, like, and you kind of brought up like getting paid provides a different variety, especially for like your equipment and for like the platform streaming and all that other stuff. Technically, I mean, I don't have that. So again, like at the end of the day, I'm not saying that it is bad to be paid. If you need to be paid, that is fine. I'm just not one that is for it. Like my value is always going to be whatever the bottle is. That's just my opinion.
yeah.
But I just feel like now it's, especially now when it comes to money, especially recently, like people just get fucking bent when that shit gets brought up. And it's like, look, dude, I don't give a shit what you do, but
Yeah.
once you start making that shit known to everybody, then it becomes everyone's problem and everyone's business.
Hey, you know what? Like, don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing. Right.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
that's my business model. As Scott talks about his 12-car garage that he definitely does not have. Nor do I.
Yeah.
Um, you know, um, it's one of those things. Like, I'll speak. I say we because we as a group got into this, but I
Mhm.
have continued to do this, is because, like, and I feel like I gas Scott up a lot, but, like, I genuinely enjoy, like, having conversations with Scott.
Yeah.
And, like, people don't know but, like, Scott and I talk, like, pretty much every day,
Yeah.
right? And
You guys are bros.
6 years ago, he was just a guy. Now he's like one of my closest friends, that we, share life together and like hang out and do all this stuff. So it's like the community of whiskey is deeper than just, um, the just like the surface level conversations.
It brings
Like
people together. It
it
brings.
does, but like I want to know, like Sean's in the chat, like Sean, like, hey, how are you doing, man? Like, how's your weight loss journey going? Like, let's talk about that. Like, those are the things. And Sean, not to call you out, but we just talked about it the other day. Like, those are the things that I care about. I want to get to know our people, our community as people, not just as some random tech. And yes, John, we are doing a live and it's only on YouTube because I don't know how to make it work anywhere else. So,
It's funny because when you talk about like the relationships, and so it like the first person that I had ever met like face to face off of the community, I'm sure you remember the mayor.
mm,
He was the very first person, and it was funny because how I came about actually meeting him was, um, I don't know if you remember, but when New Riff hit the scene, like when the single barrel just came, they were just, man, it like that was the hottest thing. And Bill Bender was outside in his blue camoed jumpsuit, and he was hitting a golf ball in the snow, and it was right, and it was on the snow was the bottle of New Riff. And I remember I made a comment on his post, and I was like, man, I want to find that bottle, I just can't find it anywhere. And and the mayor like sent me a DM, and it was funny because it was all caps, and the mayor at the time did not know, he was never technology savvy, I guess. So he's like, "Hey, I got the bottle for you, brother. Come, come on over." And at the very beginning, I was like, "Man, I don't know you. Like, I'm not gonna go to your house and have you stab me or something, So, but it was fun. But as I got to know him and we started sending more DMs and we exchanged numbers and we talked on the phone, then I finally got to meet him. So it's to see somebody on the other side, how they live and how they act, as opposed to being on their content. I mean, it's different. I mean, it's two different people, I feel. But with the mayor, what you see is what you get in real life. So it was it was amazing to be able to meet him, and he was the first person that I again generally met up front. And then it's like kind of like with like you, I've talked to you for so long, and then Mikey. I mean, I feel like I've known him forever, and I've never met him.
yeah.
So it's just and Jaron, and Jaron and Courtney, I met them for the first time this year. So to have to finally get to meet and hang out with those people and just talk about them and pick their ear on things. I think to me that's more exciting than doing a review with these people. Like to be able to
Oh,
kick it with them.
100%. I think, that's 6 years. We've kind of gone around a couple times at this point with a lot of different brands. Um, it's like we were talking a little bit about Penelope. Um, John, I don't know. You're pretty nice just in general. I enjoy your brand of sarcasm, so I get you. Not everyone does, but we're talking about Penelope. Like Michael and Danny are two of the closest people like in the industry to me. Like
Yeah,
I can text Michael and Danny pretty much whenever, and I know kind of when they are available, and
yeah,
hop on a call and talk with them, and they're good people. Like that's the biggest thing to me is like a lot of these brand folks, they're not just brand folks. Like everyone knows Brandon, but like
yeah.
from Barstown, but like
Yeah,
Brandon might be one of my closer friends. Like, and he's close with a lot of people. That dude is a social butterfly. But like, I talk to the Dram all the time. Like he's my guy. Like,
yeah,
um, and I remember when he moved from San Diego here, he hit us up and was like, "Hey, let's grab dinner." Like, grab dinner and drinks, and like that was like from there on out we were running. So, you
yeah,
know, um, that's what I do enjoy the community. But let's talk a little bit about we were having this discussion. And we both have written up a little something. I've not published anything about this, and a lot of people know that we've done our community score, um, and so I'll talk a little bit about that here.
yeah,
So real quick, so our community score, I talked a little bit about that. I spent this through the community score guidelines, and I'm actually going to pull up the old Google sheet here, because That's what I'm about the Google Sheet these days because
Google Sheet.
I'm the old man. Um,
Well, it's funny because my birthday will be in on the 27th. So I
oh,
remember
sick.
your son's birthday was tomorrow. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So his birthday's tomorrow. My wife's birthday is the 2nd of November, and mine's the 24th. And my daughter's was September 20th. So man, we have had
Oh,
a
you were all close.
oh, we've had a ton of birthdays. So a couple days ago,
Mm,
um, I reviewed this. So Penelope Private Select. So how the scoring works. So we do no 0 to 27 and a half, palate 0 to 27 and a half. That makes half of the weighting, lack of better terms. And then finishes out of 20, value is out of 15, availability is out of 10. Um, so on the nose, I thought this was, it was good, not great.
yep.
Like a 19. The palette I thought was really really well done, 23 to 27. The finish, kind of that lingering finish, I thought the value was good at cost.
Yep.
Um, you know, and then availability 5. Like it's a limited release, but it's a limited
It's a
release. So
rise, but
it's
yeah.
yeah, so it scored a 75, which is rather high. For our sheet, like we only have um 4 over 70, and now that does regress to the mean a little bit, because we look at the average whiskey at 50, not at 70. So a
Yeah.
lot of people are so used to 80s, 90s, 100, like those real high reviews. I think that we're missing out on a whole slew of scores. So we got to pull that number down towards
Yeah.
the middle. That's my hypothesis. Now, this math is hard. Thank you, Scott. Um, uh, that's why he's a lawyer and I was an econ sales guy. Um, Golly, he deals with big contracts. You'd think he knows how to use a calculator or a Google sheet.
Yep.
Um, but
When he got paid, though, I bet he knew that money.
oh, he he did when he went and got that Porsche 911 he was talking about.
Ooh.
Yeah, fancy
Mhm.
AF. But yeah, I mean, so I think overall at price, like it's going to be hard to beat that bourbon. Now the question is,
Mm.
at 106.8 proof, what 10-year bourbons can you try at 90 proof? Is this 40-50 dollars better than Russell's 10? Is it 40-50 dollars better than Eagle Rare 10? Now I have to clarify that because there's Eagle Rare 12 now. Um,
Don't get me started on that one, but go ahead.
but you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
is it?
I'll
He's
bet
such
he
a
does.
yeah, and there's his sarcasm
Yeah.
coming out.
Where the
Uh,
above 50 is better. Oh, that's hilarious.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
So, anywho, let me. I mean, like for the people who didn't catch your review online, what were your thoughts?
See, you know what? I'm gonna say because a lot of people think that I have a genuine beef with Penelope. I want to set the record straight. I don't have a genuine beef at all with Penelope. Like to me, I love Penelope. In my opinion, the greatest expressions to come out of Penelope that I will spend the money on and I truly enjoy is the toasted, the original toasted. Because correct me if I'm wrong, when the toasted series came out, I think Woodford Reserve did it first and then Penelope I think was the second. Penelope's toasted from anything that I've seen is like the original has always been the best. And the other one that I like is the original American light whiskey. Those two right there have always been my favorite Penelope pours. Once they started going into the architect and I appreciate what they're doing, expanding and getting new things out there. I was not a fan. And the one thing about Penelope is that yes, they are the number one seeked whiskey out there, and their marketing shows that. And I feel that when it comes to Penelope, I don't think people are really chasing what's inside the bottle. I think they're just chasing the name because they want to have the bottle. Like I got the Omega, I got the Estate, I got the like. I feel like that's what it is, and that's just my opinion. So it's like now when I go to Penelope, it's like because I already know they're the hottest thing out there, so to speak. I go into it like my scorecard is a 0. Like I'm not believing the hype because I've already been burned. Like now when it came to this estate one, I will say, did I think it was a bad pour? No. But do I think it was like the most outstanding thing in the world? No. I, to me, it was just for a 10-year. The nose there was a lot of, I think what I put. Let me pull up my review. I think there was a lot of mint to it. There was just nothing really on the nose. Let me see, what did I put? Yeah, I just put, there's lots of caramel, and there was mint. There was just nothing on the nose that stood out. And the palate. With the palate, it got the flavor. I think the one thing that kind of disappointed me the most was that heat. It kicked in and then it was just gone. So would I say like the overall like this is a bad pour? No, but I am saying that it's not worth what I spend for it, at cost all day. So I don't know. I feel that with this, and again, all my opinion, but with this one, I feel like I've had it before, so to speak. I feel like I've had it before. There was nothing really that stuck out that made me say like, okay, wow, this is amazing, or this is something like I feel like I've had this my whole life. So if I had to, what you gave it a 75, if I had to put my overall final score on it, I don't know, maybe a 68. you know, um,
Yeah, so
I
your nose was lacking, right?
yep.
And you didn't care for the finish as much as I did, right? So
Mhm.
again, like I think that's where
Now
I
wait,
don't
now
know.
hold on, now wait. I will say this. I will say this. By itself, I was not a fan, but I did pair it with the Drew Estate cigar. Now this did make an excellent pairing. I felt like the cigar brought out, or the whiskey brought out more of the cigar, which I truly enjoy. And as a cigar pairing, I felt like this was amazing. But as a pour by itself, it was just every day to me. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. I think, so like using our scoring system, and I know that I think there are others out there. I'm not 100% sure.
Mm.
Um, but me and ChatGPT and some other artificial intelligence scoured the internet as I helped create this, right? Um, So, I think there is, opportunity to then look at that and then create a standard score and then grow it from there. Like that's my hope with this is that I can get 20, 30, 40 users constantly rating whiskeys in there, to engage. Yeah.
Agreed, Scott.
The cigar sessions, I, I was not a fan. We parsed that out to the Bourbon Lens Patreon group. The Bourbon Lens Patreon group was not, just as a general consensus, was not a fan. Um, and everyone asked the question, would it pair with a cigar? And the overwhelming consensus was it would not because it was too mild and too short. Um, so, not trying to like again shit on that. Now, I will say the most rare Penelope most people don't have was a bourbon lens blend of Penelope that was absolutely fire. So if you've got one, if you know, you know. If you
I
don't
missed
know,
out on that one.
oh,
I missed out on that one. The only ones picks that I've had were Bourbon Finds. Greg's his
yeah, yeah.
when he did. Oh man, those like because he did the toasted. Well, and also the Bourbon Thieves too. When we did it, when I was with them, when we did the toasted, that was amazing. And then Greg, because he did the American Light Whiskey and the toasted both, and those were good too.
So we did a blend your own. So I blended in my own Penelope with their whiskeys, my ratio.
Why you holding on me, man? Like I didn't know this.
That
Where
was
was I?
four years ago.
Okay.
That was when World's Top Whiskey Taster was still going on. I used it to
Ah.
practice my blending for World's Top Whiskey Taster,
Mm.
um, which didn't go over well because I couldn't smell that night. But
Oh man,
neither here nor there. I finished dead last. It is what it is. And I
it
ain't
is
gonna
what it
make.
is. Yep.
Yeah, I would say if I could do it again right this second, I would have a really good shot. But they don't do it anymore. So onwards and upwards.
You should
Um,
do it again for yourself. See how you would do it.
if anybody wants to challenge me to a taste test, I'm in. I'm all for it.
I think Mikey would
I've
be down for that.
I, Here's the
I think.
thing: if I put non-Jim Beam products in, he's lost.
Oh, Mikey, damn.
Uh, that's like if I put a non-Heaven Hill product in, Scott's lost. Um,
Them
but we
fighting
we
words.
we all have our own like thing, but like it's hard, right? Because
Yeah,
you know when you do stuff like that, you have to have a pure whiskey, and what I mean by pure, it's got to be from one distillery. Like you can't
yeah,
like
yeah.
go give me a Larrikin because I don't know I don't know where Greg sourced it from. I love
Yeah, yeah,
Greg,
yeah,
but like
yeah,
I don't know the source distillate. I could tell you if it was rye or bourbon, probably.
yeah, yeah.
But what if it's a boot rye? Then you're really screwing me. uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Oh,
yeah.
really quick, you brought up rye. I forgot. Uh, Penelope Tokai rye. I love that one too. No, go ahead.
So no, Penelope Tokai. The Tokai is probably my favorite Cooper series. So that you have Valencia, Rosé, Rio,
Hmm.
Havana.
Yeah.
I think the Tokai is the creme de la creme. Now we'll say
Yep.
there's no better Penelope bottle than Penelope Rosé because my daughter's name is Penelope Rose. So you know
Yeah. You
there
got
there
it.
it
Yeah.
is.
You got it. Yeah.
I only have 5 bottles.
Only.
Yeah, yeah, it's tough. It's hard out here. But like that's what the other thing is. I have a soft spot because Danny and I sent Danny and Michael a text and was like, hey, like my wife picked Penelope Rose. Can I get a bottle of Penelope Rose? Because I couldn't find one here in Louisville.
Mm.
They're like, yeah, like no doubt. That's how we actually told my parents and my in-laws our name of our daughter was
Oh, that's
showing them that
awesome.
bottle. And so
That's awesome.
then at the hospital, when they all came, I shared a pour with
That's
my
awesome.
dad and my
That's
father-in-law.
so cool. I
Yeah.
mean, you've
So
got a good remembrance of that. So,
yeah, for sure. Even if it's a glass topper, which is a nightmare.
oh God.
Yeah.
Oh man. Hey,
Yeah.
true
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, true story. But as we go, like what I want to encourage you is, as someone who watches and engages, keep doing what you're doing. I think a lot of people don't share that enough. They don't show gratitude for the people that they're around. So, I'm grateful for your opinions and your thought process to this because we're all different. We all different backgrounds. We all come up different ways, and I think people need to be grateful for those opportunities. So just keep doing what you're doing, and
I
I
appreciate
think
it.
good things come to people who are disciplined in anything that they do. So if that's the road you're gonna ride it. Be your own person because in a crowded space, I think we need more people to be their own.
No, I agree. And I told you before we started doing the live, I said, Jake and Scott, I mean, it's always funny because when I send you a DM, I don't know who the hell I'm talking to. So I don't know if I'm talking to Jake or I'm talking to Scott.
60
Um,
40.
but both of you, it's funny, but both of you, like, just your verbiage of how you guys both respond, it's like you both could be the exact same person. So it's not like there's no like one person's humorous, one person is like just direct. It's like you both are the same. So it's like it feels like so I'm like okay, this is Jake or Scott. But um the one thing I said about you is that I mean I appreciate how genuine and real you are, and and then like behind the scenes, like I feel like there's only I can't even count on one hand that there are certain people that I can go to and be like, "Hey, man, I got this bottle. Like, this is what I'm thinking. Like, what do you think? Like, pick your brain." And the Penelope Estate was one of them. And I feel like when I have someone that I can go to for that, you are exactly one of them. And Mikey is another. And it's just I feel it's very hard to find somebody where you can actually have a conversation with and like, look, man, I'm not liking this. I'm not pulling this is what I'm getting, man. Tell me I'm not crazy. And when you give me like your real feedback on it, and I mean, dude, I appreciate that. So I equally, I don't want you to change. I want you to keep doing what you're doing. And I do mean this. Like your guys' account needs to be a hell of a lot higher than what it is right now because I just don't understand.
Well, Scott was really good at taking pictures, and I wish he'd go back to taking pictures. Because we blew up when Scott was just able to just rip off photographies. And I will say to John's point, I don't know if I'm funny. I might be funny by happenstance. Scott's a sarcastic ass, so that's why he's funny. Um, so I don't know if neither of us are funny, but we are funny in our own ways. I might be funny looking, voice for radio, you know. Um, Got to make sure the hairline doesn't go too much further back, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Actually, there's one question I wanted to ask you. Like,
yeah, shoot.
if there was one thing that you can change how this community is right now, like what would it be?
You know, I think authentic engagement, I think, would be really cool. Um, and like building each other up, I think it
Yeah.
is one. But then like I think the other thing that I would like to see, and I talked about it this with someone recently, like we all need to prioritize our health in a way as well through
Yeah.
this.
Hmm.
Um, let's go. Hopefully it was Jamar Chase for the Bengals. I have not
Fantasy.
looked at the score. Uh, Sports gambling, but same thing.
Oh, okay. Hey, same thing. Same thing.
Uh, I really I care about a lot of people's health, and because I care about my health,
Mm.
that's the thing I want to see change more than anything. Is I want people to get healthier and look everything in
That's awesome.
moderation. I'm all about bourbon. Um, Less dick measuring about bottles.
He is hilarious.
So, so what I will tell you is I know exactly what that dick measuring is that he is talking about, and that is truth. Like, dude, nobody cares about every LT freaking O on the market. Like, there's so much good bourbon and whiskey at $50 to $60 every day that doesn't get talked about.
Amen.
So
Amen.
I know. Me and him talk about that. That is true. But like for me, it's a health thing. Just going around KBF. Like, look, I know it's a bourbon festival, and I know we're American. We do what we want. But like health, because as we retire, like as we get older, we think about what this is going to be like in 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Only thing you can take into retirement is your health because you'll go
Hmm.
broke quicker if you're unhealthy. So that's a soapbox thing. I don't think it's ever going to change in the community, but like
Nope.
I think I would love for people to take advantage of taking care of their health because if you drink too much too often, I think you need to moderate that because I my dad just had a liver transplant, so I know what that looks like. I don't want people to really deal with those things.
Yeah. Um.
I just read the second comment
Now
below
reach
that
forward.
one.
How
No,
many?
no, the one above that one.
Oh.
Yeah. No, no.
God. I don't know. I feel like for me, I think people need to check their egos.
Yeah.
Like I feel like sometimes people think they're on this fucking pedestal. That they think that they're way up here, and like in reality, dude, you're like right here, and it's like I, and it's funny because it's like to be honest, I'm scared to go to KBF, and
Oh.
I do no for real. I'm scared to go to KBF, and because I know that there is a select group of people who are not a fan of me, and I don't give a fuck who likes me or not. But it's just like, do I want to spend that amount of money? And yes, I do get the media pass because I whatever, but I don't go because my obligation I have with my kids. But it's like, but then I start thinking, I'm like, do I really want to go? Do I want to spend? And I was talking to Mikey about this, and I was like, do I want to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars if I know that I'm going to go and probably hang around with maybe one or two people that I know that those two people are going to be my friend. So it's like, do I really think that my appearance or I would say appearance, my presence would really be accepted? Because on social media is one thing because obviously it's all clickbait unless it's like people like genuine like you and Mikey who I'm talking to. But then once you get to meet those people face to face, it's like, I mean, that's a different scene, and I think people's egos are in the way. It's like, I don't want to take a picture with him, like, so it's like, I feel like to me there's always that, I don't know, like, should I miss out or should I go and just bite the bullet? And Mikey is like, he's like, next year is your year. So I'm probably going to end up going next year. But I feel like with this community is that I think egos need to really be put in check. And it's like, dude, man, I'm drinking the same shit that you drink. So I feel like, in my opinion, egos just can go through the roof.
First and foremost, I just want to say that Nancy the Nose Fraley is in the chat right now, and
Oh, Nancy!
mm, first and foremost, Nancy is amazing, phenomenal, wonderful human being, just in general, and hilarious. And when you get her to laugh, she snorts. It's great. Um, shout
Oh, he
out,
busted you out.
shout out to the Frey Ranch Harvester series, to the Magnus, all that fun stuff that she has helped
I did my
create.
review on that cigar blend, and my opinion, hands down, that's probably one of the best out there ever, and I don't think it'll ever compete. My opinion.
Um, it's their cigar blend is really really good. Um, And yeah, I love Nancy, but I agree. I think Lewis, you're making great points. We need to check that. But KBF asked Mikey. Mikey hung out with our house the
I know.
entire
I
week,
heard. He told me about
um,
it. He told me about
and
it.
I think for us, we got 10 people, and that's what we're about. We're just about community, hanging out.
Yeah.
If Scott goes here, we're bringing 3 or 4 people with us, and if I go there, like I don't know if John Embellish is still in the podcast or in the chat, but like John and I were just like, there's a stairwell over here, and there's people upstairs. We got invited to this. No one's here. Let's go
Yeah.
talk to people. And
Yeah.
we just had our own like one-on-one tasting with the Pfeiffer Fabit people. It's like, you know, tell me no. At the end of the day, like if you're gonna whatever, but like I'm there to go and engage with the people, engage with the brands, to talk to the people that are creating the whiskey, and that's what Kentucky
Yeah.
Bourbon Festival is all about. It's
Hmm.
not as much as we want to say it's about the community. It's about like getting FaceTime with the distillers and the blenders and trying their whiskey. And as always, as David Mandel says, sips to lips, right?
Yep.
That's what it's about.
Yep. So yeah, next year I'll probably end up going because Mikey had talked me into it, and he's like, dude, just go. Like, you can be with me the whole time. Like, I'm not gonna leave your site. So, yeah, next year will be my year for sure.
Yeah, you got to get there. Speaking of, I need to reserve my house for next year. I need to text my guy Shane. But man, Lewis, really appreciate you hanging out.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
And dude, thanks. I really appreciate it, and look forward to just continuing the engagement, man. Like this is what it's all about. It's about community and growing. Thank you, chat. Y'all have been awesome tonight. Really
Thank you guys.
appreciate that. It's been fun to have y'all along for the ride, and we'll catch you next week on Thursday.